I believe that if you've come through the first round and you've got accustomed to the table, I think you do have an advantage. And as a result of that, I'm out shading Dennis Orcollo here as the favourite. What about you, Jeremy?
Can we get the screen changed, please?
Well, I think more than anything, that first match lets you feel your nerves. The table's one thing, and it certainly does have to be recognized as, you know, something different than your pool club table. 4-inch pockets, of course, but really feeling the nerves for Dennis, because it's been a minute for Dennis to be in this type of setting. On a normal occasion, I think Dennis would be labeled the favorite, but this is the reigning champion he's dealing with, and I got to believe that Alex has more time in these types of settings than Dennis does.
Dennis Orcollo to break.
But the first break is huge. He made a huge comeback in his first match. There's a lot of things that that are leaning this man's way. And as much as anything, the break shot, right? I mean, he's got the balls a few times. Now, this is going to be a tempting shot to shoot at with the 2 hanging. I think he's supposed to shoot at it, to be honest with you. The safety's really delicate. And the safety, I think, offers a jump shot. You know, it lay the safety down. It still offers a pretty nice jump shot in return if he plays the cue ball behind the 3 and 9 and the 1 over to the left. So I think he's supposed to shoot at this, Phil. Especially as great as he is.
And maybe the 9-ball maybe provides a potting guide.
Yeah, it's funny how that, excuse me, it's funny how that works, that sometimes you can just see just enough of it to make the ball. It's the right one. Yeah, pretty good effort, just catching the upper point. That's usually the tendency, is you don't want to, you know, you can't make it chunking it, right? Hitting it thick. And Kazakis is kind of the epitome of steady. The man just wasn't long ago, 6, 7 years, 8 years ago, I guess, when I first met him, and I knew he was going to become a really good player, but the level he's attained has been kind of something special if you've paid attention to his career. Super great guy, super hard worker. Keeps to himself a little bit at times, but just a fun guy all the way around. And he's real smart, like that type of shot, for instance. You know, if you're not used to the slick table, you might think, all right, let me just draw this back to the long rail and come out 2 rails. But he understands this table as well, probably anybody in the event. And he obviously likes it here in Gibraltar. That was a nice stroke, pretty freed up right arm there. Oh my. And that was a much different stroke than the previous one. Much shorter through impact. And what happens when you get short is you don't quite deflect the ball like you expect. And got a little thin on the 7 here, and he better say a little something to this cue ball. This could be adios. Did he get a shot? Is he corner hooked?
Extension, right? Have an extension, yeah.
Extension.
Extension, please.
Well, he wasn't sure whether he'd taken his extension or not, and Brendan Moore, the referee, tells Ocolio that he can take his just as well, given the position he finds himself in.
Look at this. He's elevating, or he was elevating on this shot. Makes it just that much tougher. But it's all about the cue ball. That's why he's elevating the back end. And you want to go around the 9. And if that's a sign of comfort, it's a good one for RoboCop.
Yes, and RoboCop gives the defending champion an early ticket. It was all about the missed 7-ball down the side rail. Alexander Kazakis, no, sitting there. He should have knocked. He did not, and he paid the price with loss of rack. So Dennis Orcollo, age of 43, he is. He's been around an awfully long time. He's won so much in his career. He's 25th in the Nineball ranking, but you know he's got the potential to improve upon that. And in the first round, the 7-4 scoreline didn't really tell the full tale. He was 4-0 down. Eklund Kachi had broken run 3 times, but then Dennis turned it around. As for Alexander Kazakis, he's trying to do what only one other player has done, i.e. successfully defend this Whirlpool Masters title. Shane Van Boning did it back-to-back in 2014 and 2015. His 9-ball ranking is 8.
Ocolio to break, leading 1 rack to 0.
And I believe in the first rack, the 1 ball caught the point, so probably want to get the 1 past the side. Made it this time, so he's going to wonder where the 2 ends up. It's going near the upper left. And he's going to love this, and you know how it is. When you make a big mistake, you usually get a heavy penalty at this level. And it looks like it's dressed up to do just that for Dennis. Now, he can only really cue the right side of the ball, it looks like. Maybe he can get to the center and just draw up the left.
Jeremy, would it be fair to call this a roadmap? Our first use of the terminology in this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, he's got an 8-ball on the side rail that he's got to play good position on, but yeah, minimal cue ball movement, dart, that's for sure. And you've been around all kinds of sports. You know how it is, Phil. I mean, if you're at your home golf course or your home pool room, you know, these players hit a level that is kind of unbelievable. But when it's in match play and big titles are at stake, things become a little different. Okay, I don't know what kind of angle he ended up with here. This is a little tricky. He may draw into the 8 here. I don't know if he can get. Can he kill the ball to play the 8 up long? That would be the shot I would look for. Just a little, like a mini drag shot.
Thank you. Excellent, please.
He should aim low, unless he's going to move the ball. And then watch the cue ball turn over and become follow right before it hits the object ball. Call it a drag shot because the ball drags down the table with the bottom until just before the object ball. Well, I'll tell you, I know Dennis real well, and I watched him so much. When the timing on his stroke gets comfortable, there's not going to be many misses.
Dennis Orcollo wins the rack.
And if you think about it, that is now 9 consecutive racks from him. The last 7 of his first round match against Eklund Kachi, and now the first 2 of this. Immediately, the defending champion finds himself a little up against it.
And it's up against it because of the winter break format. I mean, he's a little bit on the cooker at the moment here early.
Dennis Orcollo knows what it takes to win this fine tournament. He did so in Las Vegas in 2010. Overcame Toru Kurobayashi of Japan, 8-3 in the final. Other Filipino success in this tournament much earlier. A couple of wins for Francisco Bustamante in 1998 and again in 2001. Efren Reyes, he was runner-up to Ralph Suke in 2002, but you know, when the Filipinos are in town, they are always a title threat.
Yeah, and I've always labeled Dennis as one of the elite, to where, you know, a 4-inch pocket, you know, more of the moment might affect him more than the 4-inch pocket. He doesn't change the shots he shoots at because of it. Just something that usually wouldn't slow this man down. A lot of 9-ball movement. Okay, we'll see how he's feeling here. A little awkward cueing with the 6-8 there, but I think he keeps attacking.
By the way, Jeremy, it's worth mentioning that Ocolio is well qualified to maybe advise, if he wasn't playing, Alexander Kazakis just about how to go about defending this title, because we know he won it in 2010. In 2011, he nearly repeated, got to the final, lost out to Ralph Suke.
Might get into the 9 here with the cue ball. It's a good stopper. He could be very aggressive with the stroke, knowing the 9 was there to contain the rock. But I don't know if, you know, you haven't got to see him play quite as much as I have, and I know you're a guy that pays attention, but I saw a lot of comfort developing here. Now, that's a little shy, about a foot, foot and a half, but still, it's all about the angle. Probably lets the stroke out here and gets on the inside part of the 7 near the side rail, unless he really digs on the cue ball. I like this play, though. Ooh, okay. It would have been very hard luck to getting snookered, but you know how it is. Murphy's Law.
Because of visa problems, not been playing an awful lot of international pool. So maybe the absence of that has made him even more hungry than he was before. Look at this. Dennis, as we said earlier this afternoon, is turning out to be a menace. That's 10 out of 10 racks, that is, against world-class opposition. And our title holder finds himself in trouble. That is the arena here at the Europa Point Sports Park, venue for the Whirlpool Masters. Day 2 began with a meeting of brothers. Ko Ping-yi on the left prevailed over Ko Ping-chung on the right. Wasn't very high quality, one has to say, but Ko will be delighted with the victory. Been good so far this evening, though. Dennis Orcollo taking full advantage of Alexander Kazakis' miss on the 7-ball in the first rack. Since then, it's been all about the Filipino. Next up, Max Lechner against Dimitri Jungo. And finally, I'm really looking forward to this, the world 9-ball champion, Shane Van Boning against Lo Ho Sum from Hong Kong, China.
Dennis Orcollo to break, leading 3 racks to 0.
Yeah, Phil, you had mentioned that Dennis hasn't been in as much international competition, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been playing. Some great players back Philippines. Ooh, awful kiss on the cue ball. Oh my.
Pass up, falling up.
Well, for the man who went paddle boarding, this could be a tight turn.
Pass up, falling up.
Yeah, a lot of movement on the 9 again as well. So watch out for the golden break here in our opening match of the evening session. All right, just has to screw the cue ball back a little past the 6. Doesn't even really need to get past the 6, actually. Ball almost got in a funny manner straight here. You can see he's frustrated with it. Should be able to work the cue ball out for a pretty easy shot on the pink 4, though.
The hallmark of Kazakis in 2022 has been consistent. He's won a couple of tournaments in the north and the of the USA, in Wisconsin and down in Louisiana. He was 6th in Premier League pool, another Matchroom multi-sport promoted event, which was a real success. We know about his run to the semi-finals of the World 9-Ball Championship. So often these days, he's there or thereabouts.
I was going to say, interesting, he's going 3 rails with a high ball there. He could easily have, you know, say cheated the pocket a hair, just kind of a nip draw stroke to get on the 6, and now it's ran the ball a little far, but it should be okay. Yeah, I believe he lost 11-10 to Al Yusuf in that semifinal, if I remember correctly. Maybe that was Lechner that lost that match.
Extension, please.
Now, if he's dead straight here, he's got to make a decision. I think he's got a hint of an angle, so he should draw above it. Oh, wow. Really off with the touch there, and all he did is he cut the ball to the side of the pocket. That's why he lost the cue ball so much. You saw it cut to the left side, kind of extreme, and that'll cost you a little too much movement on the cue ball. I think he cuts at this, I think. Maybe not. Maybe he's just going to play the 8 below the 9. Oh, that's way hard. That's way hard. So some speed off here in the 3rd game.
One word for that, clumsy.
Yeah, and I think really, like we talked about, not only getting used to the table, but I think the early match wins for the preliminary players. It's really about feeling the nerves and getting through that and expecting some nerves in the second match.
Extension.
Extension, please.
Just to repeat what I always say, it's a 30-second shot clock, but there's 1 30-second extension allowed per player per rack, and what better time to take it for Ocolio.
Wow, what a stroke that was. Going to get a little bump, but a funny shot on the 9. Anytime you're close to it, hard to get the line on the shot line we call it. So it's a lot of feel.
Dennis Orcollo
Killed the speed of the cue ball, and again Dennis Orcollo keeps that winning streak in terms of racks going. It's now 11 on the trot. He's 4-0 up. In his last match he was 4-0 down. I think he can win both ways.
And it's, oh, here we go with the prize money.
Yeah, no one would be surprised if Ocolio didn't walk off with the $25,000 first prize. He's certainly got the capabilities to do so, certainly to go deep in the event. It's a total prize fund of $100,000, and Ocolio, as we've said before, has gone the full distance in the Whirlpool Masters before. Now Amanu goes the distance in many tournaments as Albin Ocean, and he's down on the floor talking to Michael.
Yes, thank you very much, Phil. Yeah, Albin, you're here just to take a look at the table as well, maybe?
Yeah, of course. I was upstairs at the practice room. I saw Max practicing already for the upcoming match. And of course I said I want to go down. I want to see the action on the table. I want to see how the table feels, rolls and everything. So playing tomorrow night, so I'm already 3 days here, but I can't wait to play.
Yeah, and you've got Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz, who came back. It was a topsy-turvy match with Mika Immonen, but it looks like he might have the crowd on his side tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe Max will be the only one who's cheering for me in the crowd. So, but I'm looking forward to it. You know, Sanchez is a very, very good player, #1 in Europe right now. So I think it's a 50-50 match.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Albin, good luck.
Thank you very much.
He's such a cool customer, Albin Ocean. Tailor-made for individual success and also for the Mosconi Cup.
Leading 4 racks to 0.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more from him. Sometimes, of course, he's a little on the quiet side, but I always liked the words from Alvin. Dennis tuned in on the break. Okay. Don't really feel there's an offensive shot that he'll shoot at. Probably brings the cue ball down behind the 9. Trying to use the 9 and the 3 as some cover. Could bring the 2 across and use the 5 and the 9 as some cover as well. So this is all speed control. If you want to lay this down, it's always about putting the cue ball on the rail. That's the correct speed. It's going to get away from him a little bit. Yeah, just lost the line. Usually if the speed's good, the line's good, but just a little off. But a couple big mistakes here early for Kazakis, things you don't expect. He's got 2 rails off the right side of the 2. There are some gaps, but caught it a hair thick, I think, but it's going to work. If he's left an edge of the 2, he's not going to be happy.
The way both players have looked at this suggests it is borderline.
I love this camera angle. Getting to see the players in full position.
Extension, please.
I believe he's got the jump cue out. It's a touchy shot because you want to cut it right, but you could easily hop the cue ball off the table here trying to cut it to the right because you want to get it by the 3. So he's got to get this cue ball down quick. Oh, he went for the combo. He may have made a bank combo. Combo bank, excuse me. Well, we're about to see how Dennis thinks he's feeling, because I think if he's feeling good, he cuts at this ball, but he can't hold position on the 4 he'll pass and play a safety. That's got a motor a little bit.
Right idea, correct direction, not quite enough juice.
Yeah, but the one thing is he's keeping it tough on Alex, and Alex is struggling at the moment. So you don't want to give anything. If you're Dennis, you want to make him earn it. It's a tricky shot to go
Extension,
offensive on. The 5's a big ball to get snookered behind, and obviously the 8 is as well. I think he overcuts this ball and tries to play a safety down behind the 9 or the 4 and the 8. Yeah, that's about all he had. He's going to leave a little bit of a look at the 2 again. Now does Dennis bring the 2 all the way back down? He is elevated over the 8. So hard to thin the ball, really. Yeah, that's the shot I like. If he gets past the point, he should be okay. Funny little kick shot on the slick table. You could scratch easily coming 2 rails underneath. Oh, nice speed, Alex, and really nice shot.
Needs something positive to happen. Some pivotal moment. Change momentum.
And Dennis is not worried about the hit. He's trying to figure out how he wants to play the kick shot because the 4 is a little tied up. So if he doesn't leave anything too easy, could be difficult for Alex. Oh, he could see it. Oh, that's going to leave a chip shot in the side. I think he was just trying to play, you know, a soft safety, putting the cue ball on one long rail and the 2 ball on the other. All right, about speed control here, coming 3 rails with the cue ball. That's going to get there, and it's going to get there a little too much, I think. Whew. He's got to contact the 8. I don't think he can afford to try and throw this ball in with a heavy right spin. I think it becomes too missable that way, so just the 8 full or on the top side a little bit. Or is he going just back and forth with a little inside English? Oh, he did. Nice shot. Super nice shot avoiding the 8.
At any scoreline, though, particularly when you're 4-0 down, this is missable.
Yeah, you called it, Phil, and really, that's where we're going to see the teeth really kind of, you know, rare on these 4-inch pockets, right? When the ball's out in the middle of the table, that's where it's very missable for these guys.
Is the Ocolio rack winning streak going to reach a deadly dozen? Yes, it is.
Dennis Orcollo wins the
Right
match.
now, all I'm thinking about is what a difference a year makes. In the final last year, Alexander Kazakis whitewashed astoundingly Shane Van Boning 9-0. This time, on his return as the title holder, he faces the possibility of a whitewash because he's 5-0 down.
Yeah, and that's what happens with a few early mistakes. I don't think that there's really doubt as much as just nerves, I think.
It was a rack, Jeremy, that might well have gone to Alexander Kazakis.
Well, the one thing he's got to do, of course, first wait for his next opportunity. But just like this racket, it wasn't a run out for Alex, an opportunity. He had to grind his way into a good shot. He did miss that 5-ball, but he's got to continue to do that if there's not an open table.
Rack 6, Dennis Orcollo to break, leading 5 racks to 0.
Yeah, he's going to get a nice shot on the 1. It looked like it was going to come nice. It's still pretty sweet. He can cue the cue ball. That's the big part of it. He can type of English he wants to get shape on the 3. Yeah, he's in a great position, and there's a little work getting on that 5. That's a touchy ball, but these are laying pretty nice.
Not recommended to hit the near jaw on these pockets, but that was just about accurate enough.
Yeah, just kind of squeezed it home. And what happens is the better the stroke, the bigger the pocket becomes, Phil. And even more so, of course, that comeback win was something special for Dennis, but even more so winning an early match, but then on the same day as well, Phil. That's huge. Looking at Skylar Woodward's draw, if he gets by his next match, he'll get to play 2 matches tomorrow. I think he plays the first quarterfinal, and this has gotten real odd here. I don't think he'll draw back just because it's a funny shot when the ball's frozen. You can easily pull it off the rail.
Extension.
I wouldn't doubt he
Extension,
actually...
please.
Oh, he is looking to draw the ball. Beauty. He's going to have to take a long shot on the 7, but position on the 9's easy.
Simply extraordinary. Alexandros Kazakis, to give him his real name, his full name, finds himself on the brink of defeat, nay, on the brink of a whitewash as the returning champion. It's Ocolio who leads 6-0. defending any title is never easy. Alexander
Dennis Orcollo to
Kazakis
break.
would
Leading
confirm
6
that
racks in.
right now. Yet to get a rack on the board. Dennis Ocolio is on the hill.
Oh, friendly kiss there because that cue ball is leaning towards that right side pocket, and he's going to get an offensive shot. I think one Dennis will go for. Maybe a little thinner than I think, but he does like playing this cut shot, but there's no time to let up here. Meaning if the cut's no good, you go ahead and play the safety. I know Alex hasn't had the match he wanted, but he can certainly wake up at any moment. Hair heavy with the speed. I think he's given him a sliver of the one.
I think you're right, though, Jeremy. I think the philosophy behind the shot could not be faulted. These are sprint matches, a race to 7. And Kazakis is more than capable of turning this around. It's unlikely, of course it is, but it's not impossible.
No, and you learn that as a young pool player. You know, the mentality is, oh, I'm up 6 games, I can afford to go at something. But as you improve, you learn the right mentality is quite the opposite. Is he cutting at this? Wow. Ooh, wow. I thought he hit it really well. And again, there's a big difference, right? That ball falls on the 4 1/4 or the 4 1/2. Stayed steady. I know it didn't fall, but I mean, considering the rest of his opportunities in the match, probably one of his best shots, actually.
So deep into the pocket, wasn't it? I think it just about sums up his experience in this contest, which has been one of doom and gloom.
Yeah, I mean, nothing ever wrong, you know, besides we all hate to lose, but nothing ever wrong with losing to this guy. But Alex is going to be a little upset about some early opportunities he didn't take advantage of, because it doesn't matter. This field of 24, you make a couple of mistakes in this race to 7, especially big mistakes, you know, very unforced errors. It's going to cost you, and you're probably going to be on the sidelines.
It happened right from the very first rack. He missed a 7 ball down the left-hand side cushion.
And it was super surprising to me because he really put a beautiful stroke on the 5 ball just prior. Dennis is going to got a little straight, so he's going to have to take a little longer shot. And Dennis is very similar to what I commented about Sky Woodward when he'll get a faster pace as he starts to try and win the match.
Extension, please.
A routine 9 ball for 14 consecutive racks. What a difference a year makes. Last year, Alexander was great. This time he's gone from hero, literally, to 0. Dennis Orcollo has turned out to be, for the second time today, Dennis the Menace. He defeats Alexander Kazakis, whitewashes him 7-0. First player into the quarterfinals.